So for the past couple of weeks, I was on holiday. I was going around, seeing the world, getting experience and all that shit. And so while I was in Asia for a bit, I thought, why not go see a foreign film? You know, I thought that I should get some of the culture in the kind of way that I like. You know, I like movies. So, there was one movie that was showing everywhere while I was in Singapore. It's this movie called Parasite. So yeah, I looked it up. The plot was kind of vague. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but it looked a little bit horror-y. And I don't know, it seemed sort of interesting and there were lots of screenings for it. So I went to the movies, I bought a ticket and I saw it. I know, that's an epic tale, I know. But what actually was an epic tale was what was in that movie. And let me just tell you, you're not ready. You're not ready for this movie. Parasite tells the story of this family who basically gets an opportunity to con some people so that they can get jobs. It's established that this is a poor family, we're rooting for them. They're shown as relatable people with fun personalities and, you know, you sympathize with these characters. And that's all I'm gonna say. That was more than I even knew going in. I really knew pretty much nothing about this movie, except for the fact that this was directed by the guy that did Snowpiercer. And as soon as I saw that, that sealed the deal. I was definitely gonna go see it after I saw that. To be honest, this movie is nothing like Snowpiercer. It's a lot weirder. This movie is so strange, okay? And I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite foreign films. I just did my top 100 list, and I'm kind of annoyed because this might have made it in there. It's definitely going to make it in my top 10 of the year. I'm telling you that right now. Something that Parasite does is it shifts in tone constantly. Like, it feels like a completely different movie from one moment to the next, but it does it in this surprisingly balanced way. Like, it's a very cohesive story. You follow along emotionally with the characters, you get what's going on. But, I mean, one minute, the movie's fucking hilarious, and it's really lighthearted, and it's just kind of fun, and it's kind of cool and interesting. And then the next, whoa! Parasite can get dark, man. It gets violent, it gets dark, it gets intense as fuck. You're gonna hold your breath during some of the scenes in this movie. I won't say anything too specific because I think that it's better not really knowing anything as you go in. Other than that premise of they're conning people. That's about all you really need to know. But maybe it's good to just have a warning. This movie gets intense. This movie changes as it goes along. And yeah, by the end of the movie, it really, you've gone through a journey with this main family, like, and you really learn who these characters are. And it's really, really interesting in that way. Like, there's some fantastic writing behind these characters, and if the characters weren't so likable and relatable and realistic, this movie might not work. Like, with the constant shifts in tone and everything. But somehow, I don't know how to say his name. I'm not going to attempt to say his name. The dude that directed Snowpiercer, he makes it work. And yeah, I think it's maybe something that you don't see in a lot of Western cultured movies. Like, I think it's a bit different in that way, which, I don't know, I found particularly interesting. I was in the mood to see an Asian movie. I feel like I got that. I don't know if that's offensive to say, but it's just very different from what I'm used to. And I really appreciated what it was going for. And it was really interesting watching this movie with a full audience. Like, the entire cinema was full when I was there. I had to sit like nearly at the front row. I was like second to the front. So, I'm just looking like straight up. Fucking hell, I'm way too close. It's blinding me. But it was interesting watching it with this crowd because like some people would laugh at things and I'm like, that's fucked. What are you laughing at? And then like another thing will happen that's like arguably maybe just as fucked and I'll laugh. Like, I seem to be the only one that's laughing. It's an interesting way to interpret a movie. Like, I feel like a lot of different people, depending on who you are and everything, you're going to get a different experience with this movie than everyone else. I also love what this movie has to say. It certainly has a message. This whole movie is about class, and it's very much reminiscent, actually, of Jordan Peele's Us. It's funny in that way. There's quite a few similarities with that movie, even though there's quite a few stark differences as well. But I feel like this movie set out to do what Us was trying to do, and honestly, as much as I love Us, I think Parasite did it better. I think that the message was more clear. It didn't rely so hard on metaphors. It was more of a actual story of actual physical things occurring instead of it being like lots of representations for things, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I love Us, but I think that Parasite is like the Korean version of Us, and I think it's kind of better. better. I absolutely love Parasite. I definitely would urge you to see it, but the thing is, like, this movie I think might be hard to find, but if it does eventually come out, like, if you have some way of watching it, do it! Like, it's such a big recommend on my end. Ever since I watched the movie, like, I just keep thinking about it. I've seen other movies since, and like, I'm not really thinking about them like I am Parasite. Like, my mind just keeps going back to it. There's so much to unpack when it comes to it. I love the commentary, I love the message, I love the humor. This movie is batshit crazy at times. It's so fucking cartoony at times. It's so funny, and you'd think that that would illegitimize the rest of it. But like, somehow when it shifts in tone, you still take it just as seriously as you're supposed to during the scenes that aren't so bombastic and crazy. And then it can go back to that as it pleases. Like, this movie has some sort of license to just fuck around with genres and tones, and somehow pulls it off in this miraculous, entertaining, wonderful way. This movie's like a masterpiece in tone and balance, and I don't even understand how they pulled it off. Alright, so yeah, Parasite. I think that's all I have to say. I don't know. I don't have anything written down. I'm just saying this. I was excited to talk about it, so I just started talking about it. I think that's it. I'll probably remember things while I'm editing and be pissed off that I forgot. I've been me. Go see Parasite.